Since the early 20th century, millions of American families have participated in the tradition of running a train under the Christmas tree, or as part of a Christmas village display. In recent years, that tradition has also become more and more associated with Halloween as well, as many families construct festive scenes with structures, scenery, and people that represent holiday celebrations, whether spooky or simply celebrating fall colors and traditions. Hello again, this is Mike with another episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. While it is certainly possible to create festive and detailed holiday train and village scenes with products from Lionel Trains and MTH Trains, like the ones found on our Toy Train Tips and Tricks storefront page, it is also possible to make a festive and inexpensive display largely using items you probably already have on hand and maybe a few additional craft store purchases. First, where will you put your display? Simple displays can occupy areas as small as a 4x4 foot folding table. For my display, I'm using part of the bifold doors that I use for my annual Christmas display, but set upon the basement benchwork that will someday support the main yard of my permanent layout. But that's another story. With two teenage boys and their friends frequenting our home, plus a new boxer puppy joining the household, the upstairs living area is simply not safe enough for such a display this year. So, a temporary extension to the basement layout will have to suffice. On top of the bifold doors are two sheets of styrofoam. Packages like these can be found at most home improvement box stores this time of year or installation projects. For Christmas, I leave the styrofoam as the top surface as it looks a lot like snow, but for this display, an inexpensive orange tablecloth from Dollar Tree will supply the visible base for my scenery. I have many options for track, but to save time, I will be using an oval of O27 tubular track that is already set up for shooting video of starter sets. I'm imagining a display featuring the train looping around a candy bowl, or maybe a punch bowl, or a festive jack-o'-lantern in the center. Decorations themselves may be as simple or complex as you choose, and may range from a fall festival theme of apples, pumpkins, and autumn colors to a spooky scene with ghosts and ghouls. My scene will lie somewhere in between these two extremes. Tunnels always add visual interest, especially on a small display, as they make the journey around the loop scene longer because the train is not always in sight. I found these plastic candy bowls at Walmart for under $2 each, and I made festive tunnel portals out of them by cutting them with a razor knife. They will also anchor the top of my mountain in place. Of course, you can use traditional tunnel portals or make your own mountain out of foam, plaster, or other materials. My focus for this display is to be quick and cheap. To make the front, back, and sides of my mountain, 3 black foam core boards from Dollar Tree fit the bill at $1.25 each. A few strips of black tape hold the pieces together in strategic places. After assembly, a quick coat of black craft paint helped hide the exposed white foam core. I also remembered having an eerie girder bridge that I wasn't using that I thought would be perfect for this display. Eerie, get it? The top of the flat mountain can become a display space for lightweight holiday decorations, like these festive plush pumpkins. These have been in the family for years. Anything heavier will require more reinforcement. As for the trains, I'm using an assortment of Lionel Scout items that I already have on hand. These are small, so I don't have to worry about tight curves and close clearances on my tunnels. They are inexpensive, so even if I want to make these holiday decorations permanent, there is little financial investment. Plus, typical Scout equipment includes black gondolas that can easily carry loads, and festive orange Baby Ruth boxcars that already fit the theme nicely. My decorations will only be temporary, however. To re-letter the coffin tender on my 1110 Scout steamer, I first made 2 black rectangles from removable black vinyl, 4 inches by 3/4 inch to cover the existing lettering. Again, I'm using removable vinyl so that I can return my items to their original condition later on. At the same time, I printed black squares to cover the Lionel lettering on my gondolas, roughly 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. I decided to leave the boxcars as is since their Baby Ruth candy markings are already fitting the theme. For the caboose, I decided to add my holiday text to the existing Lionel lines lettering, much as Lionel would have done it in the 1950s. Therefore, I only needed removable lettering without a black background. Next, I printed, weeded, and transferred lettering using removable white vinyl on our family Cricut machine. You can, of course, use yellow, orange, or any other color, and I even considered glow-in-the-dark as an option, but I ultimately chose to stay with the basic white. For the railroad name, I stayed with the pun of the Erie Railroad, but added the extra E to reinforce the point. I chose an appropriate, fun but spooky font, and I wasn't concerned about keeping the lettering straight and even. In this case, some variations make the lettering more appropriate to the theme. Now for the loads. Keep your eyes open at local craft and dollar stores for things that can be loaded into your gondolas. My pumpkins came from Dollar Tree. I forgot just how many I had left over from last year, so my extras can be used to decorate the table. The LED pumpkins are a battery-powered necklace. This one came from a Meijer grocery store about 3 years ago, but I spotted similar ones at Hobby Lobby recently. The haystacks also came from Hobby Lobby. At $1.99 a package, I thought they were just a little on the expensive side. Next year, I will collect sawdust from my workbench to serve as a hay substitute. Large chunks of sawdust look a lot like hay, I think anyway. The haystacks help hold the jack-o'-lanterns in place. Again, I bought a few too many of the haystacks, so the extras will add to the table decor. With a larger display, I could add more cars and more items, but 3 or 4 cars are about right for this small oval display. For more fall scenery ideas, check out this video of my friend's O and O27 Squirrel Creek Railroad. Since I already had a table framework ready, the rest of the table project was finished in an afternoon. Of course, you can make your display more complex or even permanent. Once I decided on my lettering, printing and installing the vinyl took about an hour. As I explained earlier, this project is located in the basement far away from actual holiday revelry because of the presence of our new puppy and the frequent oversupply of teenagers in the house. But I could envision a similar display as the centerpiece of a trick-or-treat candy table or surrounding the punch bowl at a more adult gathering. In any case, it provides not only a fun addition to the festivities and decor, but also provides a great opportunity to share the fun of toy trains with friends and neighbors. Who knows, our little Harvest Express display may inspire someone to jump into the hobby or rekindle their childhood toy train memories. So that's about as scary as things get in my household every fall. I hope you enjoyed the video and gained inspiration for your own display. If so, please tell your friends and neighbors. Like the video, subscribe so the YouTube algorithm can actually find us, and leave a comment with your holiday display ideas. Let us know your cheap and easy decorating tips. Keep the trains running, especially for the friends and neighbors, and we'll catch you next time with more toy train tips and tricks.